Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Addicts.
Hello and welcome to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast where we pray for the snow to stop falling. My name is Matt. With me, Bill Fiber. How's it going, Bill?
You know, I think we're finally over the hump. I think spring is coming.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the bones of it shining through. Sure,
I can see grass outside.
We're still not quite there yet, but we're definitely getting there because the stockpile we've had is definitely dwindling with the warm days and the rain. And Sunday is supposed to be like in the mid 60s, so that's gonna
almost
be nice. And sunny.
70, almost 70 one day, which is insane.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have like 4-ish days that are like the 50s and 60s in a row. So, with any luck, by the night, well, we won't be recording for a couple weeks. So, definitely by the next time, as long as nothing happens, we should be in the clear by the next time we record.
Yes. Yeah.
Right now, everything is just wet.
It's wet,
very wet.
We're discovering a lot of because we haven't had a big snow in quite a few years. A lot of infrastructure wasn't prepared because lawns are just getting ripped up. Like I've seen a few storm grates that are like sinking into the earth. I'm like, that's probably not good.
Yeah, the roads are real bad, real bad, way worse than they were before, which is saying something.
Yeah, they just did this huge paving project up here, down here. It's already fucked. I'm like, of course. So yeah,
that's why you do the paving projects like right after the winter. Like,
well, the paving project the paving project started the previous winter. It took long to do it.
Yeah.
Like any paving. Well, the problem is all these roads that they have to pave are always the big roads, and it's like, yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what they have to do in the middle of the night.
And even then, they're still busy. Like people just don't stop. They should have done all this shit during COVID.
Yeah. So I finished the current like wave of Arrowverse seasons I was on. So I caught up on all the animus.
Nice. I haven't this week yet, but I think I was caught up on the last few episodes.
Yeah, no, we're getting some flag.
Are we?
Yeah.
It sounds fine on my end, so I'm not sure.
Might be my end then. Hold on. I'm connected to the right Wi-Fi. Oh, it'll probably smooth itself out.
Hopefully.
But yeah, so I watched last week's free run, which I think another one came out today, but I haven't seen
I saw a report that it didn't, so I'm not sure on that.
Well, I haven't been like keeping track of like actual when they release. I just watch whatever's out whenever I'm ready.
Gotcha.
But what was that one again? It was
Freerin got sent to jail.
Right. From like a debt from like 80 years before.
Yeah. And it's like it was a funny episode. I do like the fact that she just kind of does her thing. And then the whole time, like Fern and Stark are planning how to break her out. And then she's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we almost resorted.
I made them absurdly rich. Everything's fine. But yeah, that's still going great. I'm sad that we're already halfway done with the season, but
yeah.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen. There was only one episode, which I was surprised about. I think.
Yeah, and it's culling game shit. I'm like,
Well, we know there was 2 episodes, but yeah, we're finally getting into like the actual culling games, so that's good at least. There's actually
I'm
been
so
seeing full fights.
I'm so hot and cold with this season right now. Like, there'll be really great episodes, and then there'll be ones that I'm just like, I just don't care. So
That's that's the culling games. So
yeah, um,
expect more of that. There are a lot of fun characters that get introduced, and there's a lot of characters that I didn't really care for. They didn't really do anything for me.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I'm not crazy about JJK anyway.
No, it's
The
really
story is just really weak. The characters are fun, and like
the
the
characters are
all their
fun, but
powers are cool. But
they kill off so many of them that I like. I'm like,
yeah,
kill off or indispose them for long periods of time, um, or just
there
don't do
are,
anything with them.
there are some fun characters. I do like that one like random bit. And it's so like out of place, kind of, where like they're doing the whole thing where not Ghetto is I don't even remember the real name, but he's like doing the whole like, all right, guys, the calling game is starting. If you're already here in the area, I'm giving you the chance to leave now. And then we see the chick from the occult club that Yuji was in the episode 1.
I
And
completely
he's just
forgot
like,
that was her.
yeah, yeah, me too. And then he just, Geto's like, oh, by the way, thanks for being friends with my son. And she's like, okay, that was weird. Like,
Huh.
and it is pretty weird because I feel like it's super out of place.
Hmm.
Like it
See,
doesn't
I
seem
just
in character.
I just completely that just went right over my head because I'd forgot that character entirely.
Yeah. So that was a weird thing that happened.
The
I did think it was
vigilantes was
it was a kind of a nice moment, but it still just seemed out of place and out of character.
hmm. Yeah, vigilantes was fun though. Finishing up the backstory arc.
Hmm. Yep. Um,
Still don't
how many
understand.
episodes are left? I feel like it's almost done.
Yeah, let me check. That was episode 8. I haven't watched 9 yet, but at least like left.
Hmm.
So there's still a good amount.
We've still gotten like no Knuckle Duster at all.
Well, he's coming. I haven't watched episode 9, but we know he's coming back after the flashback, so hopefully soon.
Well, he wasn't there at the bit that I watched, so we'll see.
Okay.
And then what else? What else? Oh, we finally finished Spy Family.
Nice.
So that was nice. That weird little fever dream at the end was very strange, where like Bond was all these different animals, and it went on way longer than I felt like it should have.
My absolute favorite moment of Spy Family season 3 is right at the end where we get that one the part where like Yuri and Yor are like tailing Lloyd, and Lloyd's all completely onto them, but then Yuri does Yuri things and runs off, and then Yor is just like, wait,
What am I
don't
doing
run
here?
away. The best line is like, she's like, never mind, I don't even want gripes, I'm going home. And then she just leaves.
And
But it's like,
the little pop up thing comes up, and it's just like she finally sobered up.
yeah. I see. I love that line, that whole scene though, because Yor's voice actress is so fucking good at that role. Just the way she's like, "I'm going home." I'm just like, I love this.
It's great.
It's one of those rare series where I think the anime hits better than the manga does at times.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I do think that there's actually quite a few animes that have that effect, like Death Note, for instance, like because the voice acting, performances, and the music, like they really add a lot to it. And things like JJK and Demon Slayer just don't hit without the animation.
Well, Demon Slayer in particular is notable for that.
Well, JJK is also JJK. I have a lot of problems with the story of JJK, which is kind of funny when I think about it. because like a lot of times when I have like serious like complaints about Demon Slayer, it's usually like one or two things that I latch onto.
Hmm.
It is like a very simple story. It's just that they explained a thing that I don't like. I don't like the way they explained it, and it makes it it seems like a fucking middle school creative writing idea. Like, and
Yes.
that's kind of where I have the problem with it. Also, it feels like they're bums rushing to the end, and they haven't actually like resolved anything, like
Yes.
like character development and shit, like the character arcs. That just feels like they're just kind of, yeah, well, we just want to get it over with. So, Infinity Castle, like it literally came out of nowhere too in the anime. It was just like, bam, you're all teleported. You're all here now. Fight to the death.
That's been like a common thing I've been seeing with a lot of these new manga series. Like they feel like they just kind of end like way earlier than they needed to.
It's because like it's not like the way it used to be. Like I feel like people, especially with the way that a lot of shows are seasonal and stuff nowadays, and I know like the anime doesn't necessarily affect the manga, but like I feel like nobody wants to tell long stories anymore.
No, it's I'm like because I was thinking about this recently. I'm looking at all the current manga series that have been out right now, and I'm like seeing how long they tend to go. Like a lot of them are ending pretty quickly. JK, I'm amazed is 30 volumes. Like that's it's pretty long for what it is. But a lot of them are like ending around that like 14, 15-ish, yeah, to like 20 sometimes at most.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Like
fuck, even Doctor Slump is longer than that.
Comey Can't Communicate is 37 volumes. Like it just ended.
And they
Um,
only got one season.
yeah. Or two half seasons, depending on how you look at it. But and they didn't
Well,
even
Netflix classifies it as one season. So
yeah,
spoiler.
that's why it's confusing. But
Um,
speaking of that, I did just finish Comey Can't Communicate because the final volume
oh
came
yeah,
out.
very
A
nice.
very satisfying ending. They graduated. So she
Usually, how those shows end.
got her 100 friends. Damn it.
Well,
So,
good. So at least she did
that's
what she needed to do.
yeah. No, it was fun. It was a cute story way through.
Hmm.
37
Um,
volumes though. Like that's like one of the longest I've collected in a long time.
yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the longest series I've collected anywhere close to recently is Soul Eater, which I still have to get the last one. I can't believe I still haven't done that.
Well, I think the longest
Amazon
series
fucked
I
up and sent me the wrong one.
yep. I think the longest series I own, like just in general, is still at like 50 something volumes, but that's like an outlier. Like
Which one is it?
Inuyasha.
Oh yeah, yeah. For me, it's still Naruto. Naruto, 72 volumes.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's a long one.
At least
Um,
Inuyasha has those convenient like Visbig 3-in-1s, so it's like not that huge a deal.
I mean, Naruto's got the 3-in-1s too, but I was getting good deals in the box sets at the time, so I just got the single
Yeah.
volume box sets. Um,
Nice.
but then what's my second? I mean, I guess Dragon Ball would be my second longest
Mm,
because even though America doesn't do it that way, technically Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, it's all just one manga series. It's
yeah.
not two separate series, which makes the Bizbigs really annoying.
Yeah, I know. You're 4-in-1 and then you're 2.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, aside from that, I've also been catching up with Hell's Paradise. I'm liking the direction it's going in. They started explaining the power system, and I'm not it's it's basically the way chakra types work in Naruto with like the different elements.
Hmm.
And like I am almost not sure I like that they explained it at all in that way, you know.
Yeah,
It's
sometimes
not
it's
enough.
better.
Yeah, it doesn't like piss me off the way Demon Slayer did, with that or confuse me in the way that Jujutsu Kaisen did, but it's almost exactly the same way where it's like, oh, there's these different types of energy that are based off of elements like earth and fire and water, and they all affect each other different ways. Literally the same as Naruto.
Yeah.
And like, I don't hate that, but I kind of liked just like the mystique of it, you know?
See, I like when the series like just take like the whole power thing and they're just like, you want an explanation? I don't know. Then they just leave it at
One Punch Man.
Not important.
But I'm enjoying that too. What else am I watching? Oh yeah, Trigun. That's confusing me kind of. Not like necessarily in a bad way. I think it's just one of those things where it's just so wildly different from the original anime that it's throwing me off. I think if I got the chance to read it, or like when the entire series is done, and I could like rewatch the whole thing as one product instead of watching week to week, I think I'd understand it better.
Yeah.
But it's just there's a lot going on, you know, which isn't a bad thing. It's just it's kind of going over my head a little bit, especially since I'm watching the way I am, where I'm not consistently watching every single week. Like I'm watching like 2 or 3 episodes at a time, like as they come out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much all for anime at the moment. Oh, I got, after we finished Spy Family the other night, me and Xander stayed up for a little while longer, and Cindy went up. I ended up putting on the first episode of High Score Girl, and Xander wants to keep watching it. So
that's a fun one. It's not the deepest by any means, but it's the video game references alone are what makes that one fun to watch.
Yeah, because it was funny too, because I went to go put it on, and he was just like, "Oh, what is it?" And it's just like, "Oh, it's very educational." And he was like, "That doesn't mean it's fun." He's like, "It's about video games." Like, oh, never mind.
Educational is not the way I describe that show, but sure,
I
guess.
I learned a lot watching that show. Maybe you didn't. You're a psycho who probably owns every single one of those games, but
I do not. But that's besides the point.
I found it educational.
And, it's a fun,
in a fun way.
It's a fun series. Ironically, the characters in it are the least part of it, which is the funny part.
Well, yes and no. I like the characters a lot. I think it's a fun show. So there's that. Also, so yeah, I finished like what would have been like season 5 Arrow, season 3 Flash, and so on. And I still say, like, especially now going through it again, if they had either added another episode to round it out or tweaked the ending of the 5th season of Arrow so that it wasn't like a cliffhanger, it would have been the perfect way to end the series.
Yeah, that's what they say about most CW DC shows.
And it's not even. I feel like specifically with that show though, with the whole like I was lost for 5 years, and then like, all right, 5 years into my quest, and then like the whole thing where he's fighting, ends up against Prometheus, who turns out to be the son of one of the people he killed in season 1, and like by the end, it's like, all right, we're ending the season where the show started on Lian Yu. He's kidnapped all the people you care about. And like, so all my team is gone, including the recruits. It's just me. And then it's like, okay, so I'm going to go get the villain from season 1, the villain from season 2, the daughter of the villains from season 3. And we're going to go and take this dude on and like, like the symbolism of it just works really fucking well. And if they had just tweaked the ending a little bit and just made it the end, it would have been fucking perfect. And I haven't seen, I watched season 6 like way back, and I don't really remember anything from it, so I can't really speak on it. But
all I remember is the Ollie and Felicity show, because that's what it became for a while.
Yeah. But oh god, like, yeah, I just think that would have been just exactly where it needed to end. And I can't judge anything beyond it yet because I haven't watched it yet, but that's kind of where I'm at the moment. But yeah.
Yeah.
And on the comic side, I read American Vampire Book 1, which is the only part that's been released in the compact so far. And that was really cool. It was, well, first of all, the style, like the art style, is really engaging. I like the art style a lot. It kind of reminds me of who's Gabriel Rodriguez's style, the guy who did Lock and Key. Um, I don't know if it's just like a thing that people do with horror comics in general, or like with DC, or if it's just like these particular people's style. But I really liked that part of it. I liked how it played around with like, oh, there's different types of vampires, but where I'm at right now, they haven't explained why certain people are one type and why certain people are another type. But I mean, the whole idea where like the central vampire we're focused on is just some random ass person who wants to be left alone. But like, it seems like the one that gets the most attention is this fucking old outlaw from like the late 1800s who is just like the biggest piece of shit. But he's also like not totally a piece of shit, but he's still a piece of shit. It's I don't know. It's a fun story. I'm enjoying it a lot. And I hope they release more in the compacts.
Yeah, the was by Raphael Albuquerque or Alcorn.
Yes.
I can't.
I'm pretty sure it's Albuquerque.
He's got a bunch of
I
stuff.
feel like that might be a pen name, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. I know Scott Snyder wrote it though. Wrote the majority of it. I know Stephen King was involved, but
he, from what I understand, Stephen King wrote the backstory.
Yes. Snyder wrote the majority of it though. And Scott Snyder is a very talented writer. He wrote probably the best part of the New 52, which was the Batman run. And he's currently writing all Absolute Batman, which has been a so
nice. Yeah, since I finished that, I have started reading my DC's Finest Static.
Nice.
And that has been really fun. I really like the humor in it. It's very, very funny, but also like gets really real with a lot of like the issues that were going on and still technically going on. And I also like the kind of arc that Static is going on throughout like the beginning parts where like he's still kind of figuring it out. And you know, at one point he gotta go through like a little bit of a hard time. And where he's like, you know, really confused about a lot of stuff, and somehow gets talked into like going to do a job with a dude named Holocaust, which is never a good idea.
No.
And he realizes that once he's in the job, but like, you know, he was kind of like on that edge of like, you know, I might slip into this, you know, this bad section of, you know, the metahuman side of things. But you know, luckily good old Virgil Hawkins is a good boy.
His design in those early books is so weird looking at it now compared to like what we know from like the animated series and modern stuff.
It took me a little bit to move past. I mean, he still kind of has the look because he doesn't always wear it, but he usually has the jacket and the hat and everything. But it's not the same jacket and hat that we're familiar with in the cartoon. But he's like wearing a cowl, and that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that was a thing with like all heroes for a while there.
Yeah, especially a lot of like the teen heroes. I've noticed.
Like it was either a cowl
too.
Yeah, it was either a cowl or a domino mask. So.
But either way, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm gonna be sad when I run out of material in that book, and I'm just gonna keep fucking praying that DC releases a part 2 to that. Because I mean, they'd only have to do 3 of the DC's Finest to do the original Static run, and then obviously there's like, you know, the 2000s run and the 2010s run. But for the original run, you only need to do 3 of them.
Yeah,
so we'll see. We'll see.
I haven't really read much. It's been a kind of a slow. Well, I read some manga, but that was for last week's episode, and then I read the final volume of Comey just to finally finish that.
Gotcha.
I've been playing video games again. I'm playing Tales of Berseria right now, which has been I'm very addicted to. Right? So that's been fun.
There you go.
Classic Tales RPG, fun story. It's moving my top 10 or top 5 favorite Tales games. So be interested to see what my thoughts are once I finish it.
Yeah, I'm now that I've finished Hades and Chrono Trigger, I'm back on to that Yu-Gi-Oh game I was playing. Because I realized like I'm actually like I mean it's still gonna take a little bit to get there, but I'm actually not that far away from like what would be like quote unquote the end of the game.
Yep.
But I'm like really seriously debating getting a Retroid Pocket 5 with my tax returns. Because apparently those are powerful enough to run PS2, GameCube, and Wii games. And if I got that, that would probably between that and like the other stuff I have, that's all I need. All
True.
I need. Because I mean, for the PS2 library alone, I'd be satisfied.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of PS2 games that I'd love to play again. And there's a lot of PS2 games that I'd love to play for the first time. I believe you told me that like PS2 era was around the time where like the Tales games kind of become what like the best part of themselves.
PS2, 360, around there. The best one like for beginners is on the 360, although the best way to play it is the modern console port of it.
Well, that's the thing is like I don't think there's like a really good way to handheld emulate that generation yet. That's gonna probably take a while before we get there.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully that game is on the Switch, so you play it there.
All right. If it's on the Switch, then that's doable. Then
the Tales game on the PS2 though is actually my favorite one, Tales of the Abyss.
Yes, that's the main one I always hear about. So that's probably the one I will play first whenever that comes around.
And it's the longest game in the series, but that's okay.
Hey, well, you already got me to play Persona 4, and I'm already geared up to play Persona 5 this year. So
true.
And the next Dragon Quest I have to play is 7. So,
well, which version of 7 are you playing?
The 3DS version.
Okay, that's not as bad as the PS1 version.
Still, I do technically have that available to me because
yeah, but you don't
need
to play that.
Loaned me a hard copy. No, I already spent the money on the 3DS version. I'm gonna play that, but
yeah, you don't need to play the PS1 version unless you really want to sit through 2 hours of gameplay without any battles.
No, I'm all set with that. That's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, with any luck, I'll be able to fucking get that at some point soon because that's just again, if I get that, that's the only between that, my Switch and my 3DS, that's all I need. I don't need anything else.
Nice. All right. I think now we should get into our segment, or at least what little of our segment we could do this week, because it's going to be a bit unorthodox.
I was honestly kind of thinking after watching this section of what is classified as a movie, apparently, that I was starting to wonder if it might not be more worth it to just do the whole thing as an episode, but well, we'll see how it works.
Some of the later ones are definitely more substantial than this one. So I guess we'll need some music.
Well, yeah, I did take some notes, but as I said before we started recording, I only watched it the one time, so
that's fine. This music will work, I guess.
It sounds kind of spacey.
Yeah. So we are talking about Halo Legends, which was a originally released in 2010. Well, it was actually originally 2009, and it ran through 2010. It was a series of anime shorts, very similar to like the Animatrix.
Hmm.
It was very similar to like the Animatrix and like Batman Gotham Knights, where it was a series of anime anthologies that they kind of just threw into one package. And they would get a bunch of different studios together, and they'd farm out Halo to a bunch of anime studios and see what they came up with. And the Halo one is interesting. So I actually do have the Blu-ray release here. Released by Shout Factory, good old Shout Factory. And what was cool about the Halo one to me was the fact that they got a bunch of pretty they got some pretty interesting studios to work on this. Like, just to name a few, there was Production IG, Bones, Toy Animation, Train, Casio Entertainment, and Studio 4 Degrees Celsius, which I hate that name, by the way. Yeah. And what's interesting, I discovered, because we watched the wrong short at first, is they actually released the out of order. Like, the first short that was released is like the second to last one in the order.
Interesting.
Yeah, like the one on the DVD and the Amazon version, it starts out with like Origins 1, which is the one that we'll be talking about today.
That is just to be clear, that is the one with the flood, right?
Yes, the one that talks about.
Okay.
It starts with a Cortana, and
gotcha. Okay. Just want to make sure I watched the right one.
Yeah. So when I booted up DVD, and I noticed right away, I'm like, oh, this doesn't match the Wikipedia article. I'm a little concerned now. I actually went to watching it there just to see where it started. I was like, oh, okay, so it's the right one. Yeah, and there is, how many segments were there? There were 8 total in this anthology, and I think they got. So you know Halo better than me. Is that the original voice of Cortana, or did they get someone else?
Honestly, it's been so long since I played a Halo game. I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough. Know enough about Halo to know, but yeah. So Origins was interesting to me. Like the first, it's kind of like, did they explain this ever in the games, or is this like the first time?
I don't think so. If they did, it was one of the later games that I didn't play, but I don't remember, because I remember the first game that the flood was introduced just kind of like randomly, like you were just out doing shit, and like all of a sudden there was like this, you wander into like this area, and just there's all these weird like fucking fungus people jumping out at you.
Okay, so it essentially, a segment kind of starts off with like this little like flashback where you see Cortana. It takes place after the events of Halo 3, apparently.
Okay.
Supposedly, according to the little backstory I read here. And it kind of, you get Cortana and Master Chief talking about existence and like life. And she kind of then decides to go into this full-on like story talking about the Forerunners and the Great Civilization and the attack of the parasitic flood, which I'm assuming is a bigger scope villain in the franchise.
It's pretty much everybody's villain. It's kind of like the reason that like all these different people who hate each other just kind of band together, because they're just like, we cannot handle this alone.
Gotcha. Also, it's Halo anime time. But so it kind of like goes into the whole like backstory, discussing like how the flood came and basically just destroyed the universe. And kind of talk about how the Forerunners kind of fought basically to the bitter end and to create the Halo, which I didn't realize was as big a thing as it is.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was exactly what the Halo weapons were for. And again, I don't know how accurate like these, like I don't know if they like gave these animation studios like this is the actual lore for the story or not. But I did find it interesting that all the Halo weapons were specifically designed to annihilate planets that have basically intelligent life. Period.
So
like,
the series was directed by Franco, who, at least at the time, was the development director at 343.
Okay, so yeah. Do you know which studio animated this segment?
This segment and its follow up next week was animated by Studio 4 Degrees Celsius. I fucking hate that name, but sure.
Well, they did good work at least. It was a very interesting, very colorful art style.
It is. So I was looking into their story, like what they've done. They actually did the first Satoshi Kon project, Memories. Yet to watch, but I've heard it's great. I know you'll notice old movies.
I'm sorry.
They did the Berserk Golden Age Dark movies.
Oh, okay.
Are those the shit ones, or are those the ones that aren't completely shit?
No, the movies are good. It's just
okay.
It's the 2016 series that's shit.
Okay, that's what it was.
Because
when I saw that.
Yeah, with the movies, I don't know. People had complaints. They did do a lot of CG stuff, but it was well done CG for the most part.
Apparently, they also did one of the shorts in Batman Gotham Knight. They did 5 of the segments of the Animatrix. Apparently, they did Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradise, which is just weird to me.
Wow, I didn't realize that was done by an anime studio.
Apparently, they assisted Warner Brothers with it, which kind of concerns me because I think the animation in that movie is fugly, but that's besides the point.
Really? It's been a while since I watched it, but I liked it.
Everyone looks roided out in that movie. I could not stand the way it looked. But that might just be me.
Well, Thomas Wayne is jacked.
Everyone is jacked in that movie. Fucking like even like the Flashes are. Like it's just odd. What I did find interesting though was they actually did a bunch of video game stuff too. Like they did the anime scenes for like Rogue Galaxy, Street Fighter 4, Catherine, Tokyo Mirage FE. That's an interesting one. Just a whole bunch of video game stuff. So cool. they've been around, but they're probably the least prolific out of all the studios that were involved with. I'd say, anyways. But yeah, that though it kind of goes over the whole how they basically they created the Halo arrays to basically kill everything in the universe.
Yeah, well, apparently the way it worked, the way it was explained was that the flood came in and like at first the Forerunners didn't really take it seriously. But by the time they realized that it was like an actual like real like epic level threat, it was already too late to really do much about it. Yeah. So they were like, all right, so I guess we'll just destroy their food supply. And it turns out their food supply was intelligent life. So they had to wipe out every planet that had intelligent sentient life with the Halo weapons. But they like Noah's Ark that shit where they just had like a little fucking storage pod of just like, we just got like, like 100 Earthlings and like 100 of like, fucking the little shield guys from Halo and like all these other different races that they just kind of like kept in stasis and then eventually released into the universe.
we had a convenient supply of every species in the universe to just repopulate after at the expense of ourselves.
Yeah, and
It's
yeah, 'cause
interesting, I
did
will
they
say.
explain did they explain whether or not they saved any of their kind, or
It may sound like they didn't, other than like maybe some armor. Because they show that scene of Cortana closing that door with like the armored suit. Couldn't tell if that was like a living one or not.
I don't know. Because I feel like when I saw the armor, it looked familiar, so I feel like it might be like something that, like the aliens worship or something. But uh, it just seems kind of odd to me that you wouldn't. Because if you're going out of your way to do it for all the other species, why wouldn't you do it for your species? Unless there's literally just like not enough of you left after that.
Maybe it's part of their punishment for their sins or whatever. It's like a symbolic thing. I don't know.
It could be.
It's like sci-fi. There always has to be like convolutedness to it.
True. But all told, I mean, it was a quick little story segment. There wasn't really like a ton to it aside from it was literally just backstory the whole time.
Yeah, I will
how
say
the universe came to be the way it is.
I will say rewatching these since the last time this was, I believe it or not, besides like playing Halo 1 back in the day, like loosely, this was like my first real introduction to Halo when I watched this with some friends like a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was getting like the Halo experience at the time.
Okay.
But I joke because ironically the first two origin segments are probably the most basic of, because I will say the ones we get into later are much more interesting, like particularly like the toy animation, which later, which is a treat.
Yeah, my experience with Halo, like back in the day, I played the first 3 games and ODST, and and I read one expanded universe book, and that was back in middle school, so I don't even know which one it was.
That's fair. Yeah, it's hard to say.
And it's on the first season. And it's on the first season of the Paramount show.
Yeah, that's a thing. I never liked it, but that we've been over this in the past. But yeah, we'll get into more of this with the next episode because they do pick up from here. The start though was definitely on the slower side.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Halo anime time. I'm just naming it now off the cuff. Speaking of anime, though, it's now time we get into our topic for this episode. We are once again returning to Inuyasha. We've covered the show. We covered the final act. And we kind of briefly mentioned them, but we're actually going to go in depth with them now. We have yet to talk about the movies because, like all anime properties back in the day, there was theatrical movies released. Not so much in America, but in Japan, yes, because I don't think these were in theaters over here.
No, well, I mean, there weren't really a ton of anime films that were in theaters back when they were doing a lot of these like supplemental movies with pre-existing franchises. I think the only movies we really got in theaters over here back in the day were like Spirited Away and things like that.
Pokemon,
yeah, and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie was in theaters.
It was.
Oh, and Digimon. Can't forget the Digimon movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah,
basically it was Ghibli films and whatever was the new hotness for the youngins at the time.
I think Akira might have been shown in theaters, but I have no idea.
It probably was. It definitely is now. I've definitely seen listings for it in the past few years.
They've definitely re-shown it in recent years.
But we're not talking about those movies. We're talking about Inuyasha movie 1, Affections Touching Across Time.
Yes, this lovely.
The names for the films are very interesting.
So, yeah, I actually Fun fact: I have all the original Viz um, DVD releases for all four of these. I got them at Anime Boston a couple of years back for like $10 a piece,
Mhm,
despite the $24 price tag. The person gave me a deal because I bought all four. But
mhm.
yeah, I did not. I want a version for my rewatch, but I do have these for the fun of them because they're kind of
Mhm.
neat. Like seeing that old Viz logo down there is
Yeah.
so nostalgic for some reason.
No, I feel yeah. Especially like when you start up like one of those old movies and you see like the old like little like logo animation at the beginning of the movie.
Hmm.
Like remember the Four Kids one?
I remember the original Four Kids one, which was like that blue, like almost watery kind of one.
Yeah, it was the one where it was Four Kids, right? Not Viz that did like it would like break up into little segments and then reform.
I think so. I think Four Kids did that. It
All
was
those,
back
right? I
before
remember a
like
lot of those old logos that don't exist anymore.
Funimation was like the main one all the time.
Hmm.
Good
Um,
times.
so this, I feel like it's actually kind of funny that we're doing this movie now because we just did Tree of Might not that long ago, and it dawned on me as I was watching it that it's kind of similar.
All right, I'll get it out of the way now. I'm a big Inuyasha fan. Favorite anime series, favorite manga. I love the story. If I'm being honest, this might be my least favorite of the four movies.
That's fair. That's
I
fair. Yeah.
have a few.
Uh,
The fourth, it's either this or the fourth
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
My
Agreed.
thing. Let me explain. This movie in
I can
particular.
explain. I swear.
This movie is 30 minutes too long.
Oh,
Like
for sure.
it
For
is
sure.
far too long. A lot of the characters in this movie are here just as set dressing. Like Sashomaru is here for vibes. Like that is the only reason
Yeah.
Sashomaru appears in this
He's just
movie.
there to aura farm.
Basically, yeah. Um, Kikyo's here to be a bitch for like three
Yep.
seconds and literally does nothing else
Literally
because
serves no role.
literally her only point in this film is to show up and just be in pain for no reason, or she shows up to tell Kagome fuck off and then pushes her back down the well. Like
There also was that one scene where she was like, "Oh, you'd even take the souls of the dead?" And like, you mean like how you do? Because you do that all the time.
yeah, read the manga for at least a lot of it at this point. I realize how badly the anime did Kikyo dirty.
Hmm.
That love triangle shit is not a thing in the manga. It's so downplayed. It's not even funny.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but continuing on though, like the whole, I get because this was the first movie, they had to do all those character introductions. They
Hmm.
introduce you to everybody that you already know, which I can accept it for the first movie. Thankfully, they don't in every other movie after
Hmm.
this. Um, and my biggest complaint with this movie, the plot could have been a filler episode.
Oh, he's again. It's literally Tree of Might. It just told in like a demon setting instead of
It's
aliens.
basically it's just it's a monster of the week. It basically follows the same structure of an average Inuyasha filler episode or even a standard episode.
Hmm.
Um, and it's too long. There are so many points in this where I was like, it's still going. Like that you could have easily cut so many sections of this movie down and it would have still made it been like a movie length and it would have still worked.
Yeah, I agree. But even with the length, I still like it more than Tree of Might
Well,
because while it has its faults, I don't think the movie is like it's definitely not boring on the level of Tree of Might was boring.
no, I will say this movie has some of the most iconic gifs and some great quotes. Like I do enjoy this movie as a fan, but I have to state probably the weakest of the films, which as the first one is an odd way to start. Um,
Mhm.
That being said, though, one of I wanted to bring up just because this is something that bothers me about this movie in particular. Did you notice the animation? Like the characters just look kind of.
Oh, sorry, I lost you there for a second.
All right, I was gonna say, like, did you notice, like, animation wise, like all the characters just looked kind of off in this movie?
At some points, but then there was other points where like the animation quality just spiked out of nowhere and it looked really, really good.
So backgrounds and like the effects were really good. The character designs, particularly Kagome, she looked downright off a lot in this movie. Like even on this
Yeah.
cover, like she just looks like
Mhm.
something about the way they drew her. And this is a problem all the Inuyasha movies have. Like the art styles are just odd, like compared to like the show.
Yeah.
But is in this movie, like Kagome's like design bothers me because she just looks weird at points.
There's a lot of like character behavior choices that like really threw me off too. That just didn't seem like for instance at the beginning where she's making all those meals for everybody to bring back to the past. And she's just being a total bitch to Sota for no reason. Like he didn't even do anything. She's like, "You're getting an attitude, and I don't like it." He was just admiring the food you made. Like,
See, I'll let that one slide because that's just typical sibling relationships at times. Sometimes you just like that for no reason.
I mean, I don't know. It just seemed rude to me.
I don't know, me,
For
me and
no reason.
Alex, see, me and Alex have done shit in the past just for no
Maybe,
reason. So
I mean, I would say like maybe it's just like a siblings close to age thing, but they're not.
yeah, I don't know. Kagome, let's be fair. Kagome's in a fucking mood for most of this.
Yeah, this
Um,
is true. Yeah,
which
because
to
she
be
does the
fair,
same
she
thing later when she suspects that he only came to see her because he thought he smelled Kikyo, which he did.
yeah.
But like,
Which and to be fair, that's usually it deserves it. Um,
yeah.
because the one of the most iconic scenes in this movie is once after the beginning like introduction thing because we get introduced to the quote unquote main villain of this movie right at the start and they're very unremarkable do anything
Hmm. Yeah,
like
it's just super
they
awkward.
go they attack they attack Sashomaru and they're like no he doesn't have the right fang leave him be because he'll probably kill us and Sashomaru as
He
always
did
just
kill them. I noticed that
right
like
yeah
the second watch through, like he actually killed those chicks, and like the whatever Mothman revived them because you see
right
the light
that's
go out of their eyes.
That's what it was. I'm so like Sashomaru just like kind of he basically just nonchalantly tells them to f off that I didn't even notice. So like oh yeah, because he literally
It took the
can't be
second watch to
bothered.
notice it.
Yeah, no, like he straight up just he's just like fuck off. I'm done with I'm
Yeah,
not don't have time for your shit. Like he's straight up here just for vibes. And so
yeah,
David
for sure.
paid.
Literally, just like fucking, he might have like 3 minutes of screen time in this movie at most.
I mean, to be fair though, that's basically how he was in the anime. He would just kind of show up, do something, and leave, and everyone was like,
Just
"He's
like
the
get out
best
of my way.
character." Um, but that happens, and then of course they're trying to find the other Fang, which is obviously supposed to be Inuyasha's sword, and they're sending out this weird caterpillar demon, no, not caterpillar, scorpion demon to fight off, and we get, of course, get the whole introduction to all the characters where it's like, this is Inuyasha, he's a half demon. This is Sango, she's a hunter. This is Moroku, he's a perv. This is Shippo. Um, going down the list, and then of course we get that lovely scene of Kagome riding her bike and like wiping out, going down that hill.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep, destroying another bike.
they also animated her going through the well, like for once, like because they rarely would do that after the first time in the show.
Yeah. Well, you know, they have movie budget, so
They didn't, and they didn't use it in the right places. But
no.
um,
Uh,
they defeat the scorpion demon. I should
all
say
right, so
too.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
correct me if I'm mistaken. Scorpions are arachnids, aren't they? Because at one point, Moroku refers to them as insects, and I'm pretty sure scorpions are arachnids.
it's a good question. Um, is a scorpion an arachnid? Yes, a scorpion is an arachnid. So that relation flub probably.
It's because Moroku's a spiritual man. He's not a science man.
Either that or the translators at Viz were just kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's a bug. Fuck it.
They're controlled by Mothman, so of course it's a bug, obviously.
I mean, duh. Which again, I don't know how much Takahashi's involvement was with this movie, but what the fuck is with the moth demons? The fucking moth demons. She hates moths for some reason.
I don't know. Also, fun. Just a little. Naraku, the main villain, doesn't appear in this movie once.
Nope,
at all.
That's okay.
That's fine. He'll be a much bigger part of the second movie. So
there can only be so many arachnids in one film. So
also he would literally
steal the show.
Yeah, I mean, because we talked about this in our we did a top 10 villains anime antagonists recently, and we literally brought up the fact that Naraku, he has no goal. He's literally just doing this for the fucking lulz.
Literally. I mean, we talked about this when we did our earlier episodes where, like, towards the end of Final Act, where Kagome is like, but why are you doing this? And he's just like, oh, wait, fuck. Why am I doing this?
No, he's straight up doing it. He was like, Naraku is in it for the love of the game. Like, he's straight up just an ass for no reason.
For real. He just like to fuck with people.
Which is really funny because in hindsight, when you think about it, like, he could easily wipe the floor with this fucking bug demon. Shishomaru could have wiped the floor with him if he could have given a damn, but it's Shishomaru. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't inconvenience him, he's not going to bother.
I did love, like, a lot of, like, the early character moments I did really like when, like I mentioned when she was cooking earlier, but then when she, you know, gives them all the food, and, like, a lot of, like, the character interactions I liked, like when Shippo was like, what's with this weird, like, four-legged octopus or whatever, and she gets super weird about it, just goes, it's a wiener.
So I have to mention, just going back to, like, when she was cooking it in, like, her parents' house. One thing I will constantly praise Monica Story as Kagome.
Yeah,
she fucking nails that role, and it's such a shame. I get why she retired. Like, it's a shame. Like, I'm nothing against her, but, like, it's the show did lose something when she left.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like, even when she shows up to the scorpion fight, you get the whole, like, her. It's such Inuyasha tradition that there'll be a fucking deadly fight going on, and her and Inuyasha can't help but bitch at each other for like 20.
Mm.
We also got the lovely Moroku catches Sango and then can't help himself.
Just rubbing her butt, or leg, or whatever it was.
That was her butt. That area.
Of course it was. He's an ass man. He can't help it.
Only for, yeah.
No.
Kagome too.
No. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. I'm surprised he does it to Inuyasha.
Well, no. You see, I have to bring this up because this was a line that we. So shout out to him, our friend of the show, Rick. I joined his show years ago to talk about Inuyasha, the Secret of the Curse Mask for PlayStation 2. There is that game which is spectacular where you can hang out with Moroku for a day in that game. and there's a whole like subplot where like Kagome gives rope, and he finds it like he uses it to pick up on women, basically to pick up women.
Mhm.
And it doesn't work. But if you're playing as a male main character, you literally can ask him the line why he doesn't try like giving those like items or trying his tactics with men. His exact line is literally just, well, because I don't like boys, and then just leaves. I'm just like, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, but going back to that,
Yeah.
what's up?
Oh, nothing. It hiccuped.
Uh, um, I was gonna say though, going back to like that picnic scene alone has some of like the most viable gifs and like quotes from this series.
Oh, for sure.
Like the famous Kagome fire freaking gif gets like angry for like a split second, and the fucking devil flames show up behind her. That's from this movie. This of her face planting Inuyasha while he tries to save his ramen is great.
Which is also totally undeserved. The boy just wanted his noodles. That's all.
No,
He still ate the other food. He still ate and enjoyed the other food. He just wanted noodles.
He was being an ass. Deserved it. It had been building up. It had been building up. I will say though, Kagome was oddly snippy with everybody at that picnic. Like they were just making comments, and she was getting so annoyed. But
yeah, like even like Moroku's comment where he was just like, "Oh, like she put so much love and care into this food, we'll have to force herself to eat every bite to show her respect." And like I got what he meant by that, but she was just like, "Oh, don't talk shit about my food."
Yeah. But then, of course, after Inuyasha pisses her off entirely, and she just basically has enough, we get one of her best lines in the movie, where her sarcastic, "Thanks for nothing," and then just biking off into the distance. I love that line so much. Just the way that story like delivers it. It's so sarcastic and sassy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, going into the plot of this movie, basically they're trying to get Inuyasha's fang, or the sword, essentially. But at the same time, they're using select tactics to turn the team against each other. Like they essentially brainwash Kilala into serving them to get Sango out of the picture. They steal Moroku's wind tunnel, which when that happens, I'm like,
they don't steal it. She kind of like curses herself with it.
Which when I saw this the first time and I saw that, I was like, you idiot. Like you just did the dumbest thing you could possibly
gave yourself a death sentence.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, when that is a very satisfying death in this movie though. Yeah, they do that. They go after Inuyasha, but because of the block that was put on the saga, they can't use it only because only humans or half demons can hold the sword, so it basically is useless to them.
You have to have human blood.
So then he basically like then kidnaps Kagome because of course they rerun into each other. Well, no, he doesn't kidnap Kagome because she gets sent back to the future.
Well, no.
No. She does. Yeah. She does. Yeah.
She gets kidnapped because basically what happened was like the dude showed up and he like fucking just swiped them to the side, and he goes like take the sword because he wants to use it to like unlock the fucking his daddy's powers. But he can't pick up the sword. And he's like, oh, I guess only fucking humans and half demons can use it. So I'm going to. I think ultimately his goal was like, I'm going to kidnap the lady, and then he'll come to where those powers are sealed off, and then I'll trick him into using the sword to fucking unleash them.
Yeah. We also earlier had that scene too with when Sango and Baroku confront the two other henchmen demons, which are disguised as humans at the time. He immediately does his like whole, "Will you do the honor of bearing my children?" But then we get the classic Sango just bashes his head with a fucking hose, which is always entertaining.
It's great. And then later on, where like I don't know, Kagome like jumped down from like way high up or whatever, and Inuyasha caught her. And Moroku's like, "Don't worry, Sango, I'll get you." And he just throws something at his head.
Yeah. Well, he's not fall. She's not gonna fall for it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but eventually though they kidnap Kagome to use against Inuyasha because Inuyasha's incapacitated again. And I will say I did find it very amusing when we cut to Kagome. She's being like upside down from that like tree, but the way they had the anime draw it, I'm like, there's the convenient vine wrapped around skirt to avoid any unnecessary shots scene.
Yep. No upskirts.
Yep.
None.
That was in Takahashi's rules for the anime. So yes, I just found it funny when I saw that. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. They have to avoid it.
But ultimately, like Inuyasha is tricked, and the powers are unleashed. He gets the Mothman gets his daddy's powers. I didn't even bother learning the dude's name. He's just Mothman to me.
Yeah.
But and then he just like fucking destroys them all, and they all like get separated and split up and shit. And then he just starts like absorbing people's souls just across the fucking country.
Menu, that's his name.
Oh, okay.
I won't remember that in 5 minutes, but that's
no, I've already forgotten it. Especially since he starts going by his dad's name once he gets the power. So it's like, okay, whatever.
Did he miss that?
Yeah.
What was Shippo doing during this too? I completely forgot what Shippo was doing.
He killed 3 Western demons. He said that towards the end. But aside from that, he turned into a horse, and Kaede was riding him.
Right. I forgot Kaede was here. Oh yeah, Kaede is here because she saved Moroku and Sango with her
Which
arrow.
is crazy, dude, because all right, I'm pretty sure this is the only time throughout all of Inuyasha that she does anything actually spiritual.
Well, yeah, I hadn't fully figured out her powers yet by this point, so they still kind of. So, I believe canonically, this takes place somewhere between episode 54 and 55, around there.
It's we know Rin is with Sesshomaru at this point.
We know that.
So,
and Inuyasha has mastered,
right.
and Inuyasha has mastered Clash Wave, so we know that.
Yes, but he hasn't fully mastered the Wind Scar yet because he still needs to find the Wind Scar to hit. So like he still can't like use it willy nilly.
Yep, and he doesn't have red sword or powers at this point.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, that like really threw me off because I was like, wait a minute, like I don't think I'm pretty sure throughout the entirety of the series, I don't think Kaede ever does any actual like spirit powers. It's always just like she never does a sacred arrow. Like she uses the bow and arrow, but it's always just regular ass bow and arrow. And like I've never seen her do any sort of like barriers or anything like that. Like so
the only thing I can think of is in the either first or second episode where she puts the beads of salvation on Inuyasha.
But that's those beads already had that. It was basically like a magic item. It wasn't like her doing anything to it.
She still had to do the spell though. That's like she did something.
I guess. But like I don't know, I feel like as far as priestesses go, sacred arrows are like pretty low level. It's just like you're just pumping energy into an arrow and shooting it.
Well, she said
she's never even done that.
She said it best herself. Like she says basically she's like, my power is nothing compared to someone like Kikyo or even Kagome.
Yeah, compared to, it doesn't mean she shouldn't be on the level of Kagome's grandfather.
Yeah. I mean, she's old. She does stuff, I guess.
I mean, she's still kicking. I'll give her that. She's a very spry old lady, but like, goddamn,
she gets fucking blown up in Yashahime, and she's fine. Like, she's a tough old lady.
She's very sturdy, very sturdy.
I noticed they were still doing her like ye old English at this point too.
Yeah, it was still pretty early.
Gave up on.
That makes sense.
they give up on that like later in the series, but like they were still kind of doing it here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Kagome does basically gets possessed by the man and basically tries to kill Inuyasha. And every
Mm-hmm.
time like she shows up, Inuyasha's, is that Kikyo? I'm just like, no, no, you idiot.
Well, she,
It's not.
I mean, to give him the benefit of the doubt here, she is wearing priestess garb, so like he actually has a reason to make that mistake here.
I know. It makes more sense in the manga, but like I hated the anime how they look nothing alike.
Hmm.
Uh, the manga, it's
And
much more
also
apparent.
when Kagome's attacking, uh, but actually either of them really, she's basically doing Iron Reaver Soul Stealer, which is
Kind of,
still the
yeah.
dumbest fucking name ever. What even is a Reaver?
Yeah. It's a cool word.
Hold on,
Um,
I gotta look this up real quick. You keep talking.
I was gonna say though, we also forgot earlier. There's the scene where Kagome is riding her bike home, and she straight up wipes out on it. And we get that great line of her being like, "How am I gonna? Maybe I can convince my mom to buy me another one." That ain't never gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Okay,
lines
so
like that.
a reaver is a person who plunders, robs, or forcibly takes goods, acting as a raider or pillager. That's what a
Cool.
reaver is.
Sure.
Okay.
I think he's
He
just
is his,
or he's
well,
just
it is
or maybe
soul stealer, so he's stealing their, so even though he's not actually stealing it, he's just killing them. But that's
yeah.
whatever. It sounds cool, I guess. If you're somebody other than me, it sounds cool.
You were always more of a Blades of Blood fan.
Yeah, for sure. And he doesn't use that nearly often enough.
No. Um. Yeah. So basically, Kagome like kind of does the same thing to him that Kikyo did years ago, where she like hits him with a sacred, not really an arrow, but kind of an arrow, and sacred tree.
She shoots her little energy nails at him.
I did love that line though, where after like stabs her with like she stabbed Sim with those nails the first time, he's like, Kagome, why? I'm like, dude, that's totally possessed. Like,
He's getting some serious PTSD shit though, because they even do it the same, like die Inuyasha, like the whole thing with the
I love his
tree.
like I just so like he's like, no, you could never do this, and I'm just like Inuyasha, when has she ever had nails in the past?
Right.
I mean, he's more terrified of her just saying "sit boy."
For real.
Also,
Which you'd think would be an easy way to just fucking hold him down so she could just do the, not a very
true.
good mind control.
I will say, interestingly enough, I think she only says that like a handful of times in this movie, not nearly that much.
I think it's literally just that one time when they're having the picnic.
I think it's twice because I think she does it.
I don't know.
I can't remember though.
But like literally as she's fucking like hitting him with that like last move, she breaks free of the mind control. It's like, oh no, what have I done?
And then
Uh,
Kikyo shows up, bitch, for like 10 minutes.
well, it's funny you say that too, because in my notes here I wrote Kikyo just kind of appears and is all go home, biatch, and then Kagome falls into the well.
Which I'm pretty sure this exact scene happened in an earlier episode of the show. Because I was like, oh, we're just
Maybe?
doing. I don't think Kikyo pushed her in the previous time, but there was a point where she gets knocked into the well in her priestess garb and ends up back home and is like
I think
crying.
I think Inuyasha pushed her, and it was at a point where like she like had a really close call, and he was like, "This is too dangerous. You need to go home."
Yeah. Um, yeah, because that happened. But like, I think that with Kikyo, they just basically redid her whole like reason you suck speech that she's done to Kagome in previous episodes, and I was just like, can we just move on from this?
Yeah.
Kikyo got done so dirty in the anime, like because she's just not in the manga at all.
And you can tell that a lot, like towards the end of the anime, like because her actual personality starts to show itself there, and that's why I was getting like real whiplash with her going through the series.
Oh, in the manga, the love triangle stuff isn't a thing. It's just like she appears, and Inuyasha's a little weird about the whole like I gotta go run to Kikyo as he's on a date with fucking Kagome, and I'm like, in the anime, she's like weirdly mean spirited like all the time, and it's kind of irritating.
Yeah,
which is a shame too, because I really love Willow Johnson's performance as Kikyo. Like she does that voice really well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Also, so yeah, she ends up back in the present, and then I guess because the tree is a thing now, it's like the day after tomorrow in the future, for some reason.
Yeah, and it's just snowing.
It's just snowing, just forever. I don't understand that, especially why is it snowing in the future and not in the past?
They don't even explain it here. They literally she shows up back home, mopes up stairs for a few minutes. Her grandpa is like doing something at the tree.
He's praying the snow away.
I guess. Soda's chilling, and then her mom shows up and is like, Kagome, it's cold. Soda, give this to your grandfather. This. Oh, it's too cold. Let me get you a jacket. And then she has a pep talk with her mom, and I'm going back, and then proceeds to go back.
Yeah, because she has to like fire an arrow into like because all the vines from the tree was like infecting the well because the well is made out of wood from a tree of ages, but not that tree of ages. It's a different one.
Oh yeah, because there's that great scene where she like grabs one of her grandfather's like arrows that doesn't have a head on. She's like, "Grandpa, give me that," and she just starts hitting the tree until she pulls out the freaking arrow from the tree. And then she just takes like the bow, and she's like, "I gotta go," and then we just proceed to. Did you notice the grandfather and Soda were like, "What do you want for dinner?" And they're just completely
they're like, "Today's a good day for stew."
Yeah, like they're already
also.
Kagome,
oh, go on.
I was gonna say because Kagome ruined their vibe, so they're just like, "All right, what are we even doing anymore?"
Yeah, right. But yeah, like the arrowhead thing doesn't even make sense.
Nope.
Because
but it's okay.
Think back to the first episode where she pulls the arrow out, the arrowhead's still on it.
Yeah. It's okay. It's not important. It's not canon to the manga anyway.
It's not canon.
The movie can be debatably canon, because these movies are weird. Or the anime is its own weird mess. It's best just not think about it. There might have been another arrowhead there for all you know.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that's just the tree Kikyo used for target practice. I don't know.
It might have been in the first episode. It might have just been an animation error. You never know.
Could have been.
It's not important. Anyways.
What is important is that the two demon ladies are defeated.
First one, the one that's fighting Sango, that's a pretty fun fight just because we get some pretty cool Sango Hariko stuff.
That lady is the biggest villain in all of Inuyasha, in my opinion, because she corrupted the best character in the show.
She did. No one hurts Kilala.
No, Kilala is the ultimate hero of this series and deserves to be treated as such.
Yeah, she really is. But her death is fucking brutal. She gets like bisected.
Yeah,
just dies.
Yeah, like, she's like, I can heal from this, and then Mothman's like, nope, I'm gonna take your soul.
He's like, I'll be taking that. And then the other one just straight up is like overuses the wind tunnel and just gets fucking sucked.
It even goes beyond overusing because she like straight up like cuts the hole wider It's just like, you're a fucking idiot. You are clearly playing with forces you do not understand because you just signed your own death warrant.
Yeah, because even Moroku's like, I've never had it open this long before. This is dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's that earlier episode where Moroku gets his cut open and he has to get it like surgically fixed because it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. She's just like, let's see who can suck the hardest.
Her, clearly, because my God, that sucked.
Yeah.
I will say though, like Moroku is like has like that. Moroku is such an interesting character to me because like he can go through being that jokey like pervy guy most times, but then get really serious and introspective. Like the line of like he's like, in the future that's gonna be me, and I'm just like, damn man, that's dark.
Yeah.
Well, because like this is just getting into like character study, but a lot of people don't realize that the whole reason he does the whole like will you bear my children thing is because he's flat out he's basically on a time limit. He is trying to keep his family alive as long as possible.
Yeah, he's trying to, continue the family line, the genes, keep it going.
Yeah.
Because if he dies, then he needs somebody else to take the mantle, and defeat Naraku.
Yeah. Which in hindsight it works out in the end, but like Moroku has such a dark like backstory and it's kind of depressing when you think about it.
Yeah, well, it makes sense why he has to try and keep the levity in the air. He has to keep the good vibes, otherwise he'd be crushed by him.
Yeah, I do laugh though because there is like, I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but at one point there was like a 12-part series, which was just called Moroku the Lecherous Monk. It just compilation of every fucking perv moment Moroku has in the series. I was like, this is 12 fucking parts. I don't know if it's still up or not, but I did watch that way back in the day, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like this show
That's hilarious.
The reason why I don't want a fucking Inuyasha remake in the future is like they'd never be able to do this the same way.
That's debatable. Master Roshi still exists.
Yeah, but it wouldn't. People would like just. It wouldn't hit the same way. That's what I'm saying. And I don't want to. I don't want to listen to the. Fucking...
Without Kirby Moro, it'll never hit the same way anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, Ian James Corlett does a fine enough job, but like it will never hit the same way as Kirby Moro. But to be fair, though, I guarantee you, if they did a remake, they wouldn't bring back the cast.
So yeah. Oh yeah, Miyoga's there too. He's just kind of been there the whole time.
He shows. I mean, he's like in the show. He's there, but is he really?
Yeah, and he's like, Inuyasha and Kagome, you have to work together, or you'll never be able to beat the guy. And it's like, duh.
It's like, are you gonna help? He's like, well, no, of course not. Why would I?
What the hell am I gonna do? I'm a flea.
Yeah. The ending fight is super anticlimactic. I'm not gonna like it just kind of ends.
Yeah, well, it gets to a point where we're like 5 minutes away from the end of the movie, and it's like they haven't even really started engaging him yet.
And then they just beat him. And it's just over.
Like pretty much in one hit. It's like backlash wave, and he's down. Like he tried the wind scar a couple times, and that didn't work. And then Kagome knocked off one of his weird vine wings, and he was like, "Ow!" And then he got backlash waved, and that was just kind of it.
There were fights of like Inuyasha versus Koga in the anime that were more interesting than this.
Yeah, and not even the serious ones either. Just kind of like the fucking around ones.
Oh yeah, hell, any Band of Seven fights were more interesting. Also, this movie definitely takes place before Band of Seven as well.
Significantly before.
I'm trying to think of any other particular moments. I know there's a funny Jack and Rin where like Jackin's being himself and Tsushomaru just doesn't give a shit, just steps on him and walks off. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like a good old Jockin cameo every now and then.
I love Rio appears because they're just entertaining. Like it's just such a
Mm-hmm.
fun dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I just like any moment where like because there is the moment where like the demon shows up at a second time to face off against Shishomer, and Shishomer is just like, really, I don't have time for you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, Rin, go hide, please.
But yeah, at the end of the day, this is at the very least it's tied for the worst Inuyasha movie.
The only reason I'd say 4 is better is because 4 at least has an interesting plot, even though it's poorly executed.
I suppose.
Like at least it's unique, like it's different. This could have been
I'd have to watch it again to figure that out, but at least my
fair.
personal opinion on it.
It's not good, but it's better. At least like it was something different. This could have been any episode of the show, and it wouldn't have really felt any different.
It was better than Tree of Might.
That's not hard though.
No, it's not. I was at least entertained enough to watch it twice without falling asleep, which I
mean,
can't say about Tree of Might.
this movie isn't boring enough to sleep. It's just kind of long, like because there are points.
Yeah.
It's not so much boring. It's more you're just kind of like head on with it.
Yeah.
Like, thankfully, Inuyasha movies 2 and 3 are significantly like 3, especially 3 is the best one by far. But two's pretty good.
I like 2 a
4 we'll
lot.
get. 2 is really good. The problem with 2 is the fact that it literally. My issue with 2 is the fact that it's basically a straight up. It's got the classic movie like this whole huge thing happens and they just kind of like hand wave it as that never was important. It has a status quo reset that I'm kind of just like whatever on at the end.
I actually kind of like that about it, but we'll get into that when we actually cover that movie.
Yeah, it's a case of they had to make a show, but like I feel like if it was truly standalone, it would have been better. But we'll get into it. I like the second. It's not like a critique. It's just kind of an observation. The third movie, though, by far is the best one.
Yeah.
Just for a lot of reasons. But yeah, that was Inuyasha movie 1. Inuyasha the movie 1. Affections touching across time.
Which is a silly name.
Which that title has nothing to do with this goddamn movie. Now that I think about it.
Nope. Except for like the little like fucking love talk they had through the tree through time.
Oh, I forgot about that scene. Yeah, okay. When we forgot about the best scene in the movie is when Kagome comes back through the well, like the arrow through the well.
He's just like, oh shit, you're actually there.
Well, I love that line because he's like, I didn't tell you to blow up the well, and she's like, you told me to shoot an arrow. What did you expect?
Also, who fixed the well? Because like that thing was fucked up.
Not important.
Well, there was a lot of leftover wood after they killed the tree demon. So,
also, Shippo literally doesn't do anything in this movie.
He turns into a horse, and he kills 3 of the Western demons. Also, if Mothman and his little lackeys there are demons from the West, why do they have Japanese names?
Not important. Oh yeah, I forgot Hachi shows up at one point.
Oh yeah, briefly, yeah, because he has to fly Moroku and Sango to the tree.
Yeah, because they don't have at the time.
Yes, because mind control. Ooh.
I do love that line too, where Moroku has to carry the Haraika, and he's like, "God damn, this thing's fucking heavy. how does Sango carry this all the time?"
He's like, "Man, Sango is jacked."
She is.
Makes sense why that thing does so much fucking damage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, Haraiko's, you wouldn't think much. She's like, oh, it's a giant boomer. No, that thing fucks everything. Like, to the point where it's fucking up Naraku in Endgame.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. And you haven't even seen the upgraded one she has in Yashahime yet.
Oh god, it gets more upgraded. God damn.
Well, she gets a new one because she gives it to her son.
Oh, okay.
So, but she has
I
she
see.
has her own like new one at the end of that series, and it is something.
Please tell me she used Naraku's bones.
Explained. No, she can't because there's nothing left of him.
Oh, right. He was blipped.
Because we get Sashomaru has his like giant fuck you sword that just fucking kills everything it touches, and I'm just like, this makes
Yeah.
sense. And
It's
he
just like
never
I have the
uses it
best sword
again.
ever.
Yeah,
Well,
and he never uses it.
It's too powerful. It's just cheating at that point.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
It's just it's a one-hit kill sword.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, though that was Inuyasha, the first Inuyasha movie. It was
Something.
a thing. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. It is. It's like any My Hero Academia movie. It exists.
I'd honestly put it above some of those.
It's better than the second and the third one. The first one is the first My Hero movie was really good. This is probably on par, honestly. But yeah, I guess with that, thank you for joining us on Geek Addicts. So you can find Geek Addicts on all the major podcasting platforms, and be sure to check us out over on the Superpod Network, superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site with a whole bunch of different videos, blogs, podcasts, all sorts of fun stuff. And with that, everybody, once again, thank you for joining us, and we see you all later.
Have a good one.
Nice.